ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We have come verse number 355. तो महा इदम अद्वितीयम कल्पना बुद्धि दोषात् प्रभवति परमात्मन्य अद्वै निर्विशेषे विलसति समाधावस् सर्वो विकल्पो विलयन् मुपगच्छेत् वस्तु तत्त्वावधृत्या। I chant one more time. तम अहम इदम इतीयम कल्पना बुद्धि दोषात् प्रभवति परमात्मनि अद्वै निर्विशेषे प्रविलसति समाधावस्य सर्वो विकल्पो विलयन् मुपगच्छेत् वस्तु तत्त्वावधृत्या. The translation is: you, I, and this. These concepts are imagined in the Supreme Self, which is attributeless and non-dual due to inherent if defect of the intellect. When the real nature of Brahman is realized in one-pointed samadhi, all these concepts are dissolved. See the translation one more time. Such imaginations as you, as I, or this take place through the defects of intellect. But when the Paramatman, the Absolute without second, manifests in Samadhi, all such imaginations are dissolved for him through the realization of the truth of Atma. One thing has to be understood very clearly, that the Supreme Reality is one and without attribute. There is no inequality. This is one. Now question arises, if the Supreme Reality is one, then there are so many images, so many layers of truth. What about them? Shankaracharya gives reply, because due to intellect our inner instrument, our mind, chit, ahankar, whatever name you want to give, you can give. But the reality is, here Shankaracharya used the word buddhi, intellect. Intellect is a very, very wonderful instrument. It can create illusions. Even the reality unchanged. but it shows the reality is in three types. Because of that intellect, the supreme reality, the Brahman, appears in three categories. These categories are you. One is you, another is I, also you, and another degree, another the layer is this. This is means the objective world. So these all are imaginations. See, not only this world is illusory. Here Shankaracharya is pointing out, I also is imagination. Not only the objective world is imagination. Even I is pointing out very clearly, this I is also imagination. This is not real. The intellect has a quality by nature to create duality. It does not matter your intellect is pure, your intellect is not pure. Only difference will be if intellect is pure, then the images would be good. Thoughts would be good. But if the intellect is not pure, then duality, the thought would be impure. So duality remains always. Until intellect exists, the duality will exist. Intellect means logic. More logic, stronger the world. So, intellect is not the way to go beyond the duality. See, intellect is creator of duality. It is not way to go beyond the duality. And we are always under the influence of the intellect. Whatever decision has been taken by intellect, we accept it. We have no doubt. We have no question. Whatever decision intellect gives, it is a good, we says yes. Intellect says it is a bad, we says yes. Whatever our intellect says, we have no option to deny the decision of the intellect. We accept. Here, Shankaracharya says, you have to go above intellect, cross the limit of the intellect. That is why Vyas in Brahma Sutra wrote, Tarak Apratishthana. This is the Brahma Sutra written by Vedavyas. He says, Tarak Apratishthana. The logic is not solution. The logic cannot prove the supreme reality. Logic can create duality. So intellect, the first medium to create duality. If there is no conflict, there is no intellect. For intellect means something is confusion. Intellect means there is a duality. Then we take a decision, this is good, this is not good. This is real, this is not real. The duality is there. Duality must be there, then this intellect will work. If there is no duality, like there is one is space, one is sky. Everywhere, always, there is only one sky. So you don't have any option. Your intellect will not say this sky is good, this sky is not good. I like this sky, I don't like this sky. If you have duality, then intellect will work. Intellect means duality. So intellect is the first medium to create duality. Kalpana, buddhi, dosha. This is the quality of the intellect. You can say it is inherent. The intellect will create duality, and first medium of the duality is intellect. So for intellect, at least two things are needed. Then we can choose one thing. And for non-duality, it is the last medium which has to renounced. If you want to travel non-duality, this is the last medium to renounce it. So, Tvam aham idam itiyam kalpana buddhi doshat. Prabhavati paramatmani adve nirvisheshe. Our intellect is working in waking state. Now we are in waking state. Continuously, without any interruption, our intellect is working. Knowingly, unknowingly, our intellect is working. This is good, this is bad, this is for me, this is not for me, this, that. Every time your intellect is working. And when the dream state comes, that time also, our intellect works there also. In dream state, there is also duality. There are variety. So our intellect is working there too. And third state, when deep sleep comes, there is no intellect. But problem is, there is no awareness too. In deep sleep, we are not aware. There is no world, but no consciousness too. We are not aware. Only ignorance is there. That is why this state is not useful. In waking state, intellect is working. Dream state, intellect is working because in both states, duality is there. Duality exists. In deep sleep, there is no duality, but there is no awareness. So this state is not useful. So we have to attain fourth state. The fourth one, Pravilasati samadhau vasi sarvo vikalpa. Shankaracharya says, we have to attain the fourth one. In fourth one, there is no intellect. There is no duality. And you are fully aware. You are fully aware about yourself. without equipment. In waking state, you know yourself, but with equipment. In dream state, you know yourself, but with equipment. And deep sleep, there is no equipment. That is why you don't know yourself. You are not aware. In fourth one, there is no equipment. Equipment means your intellect, sense organs, light, distance, time. There is nothing. But awareness is not there. When we know without limited means, when we are in fourth state, we are fully aware. We know ourselves without equipment, without medium, directly. We know directly, I am. And when we know ourselves without any limited means, then we know the absolute truth. Pravilasati samadhau saravo vikalpa. So Shankaracharya says, this is the fourth one. This fourth one state is called samadhi. When reality has been revealed, and in samadhi, in this state, sarvo vikalpo vilayan. The very, very important word is, in samadhi, what happens? All vikalpa. Vikalpa means imaginations. Kalpana, imagine. Vikalp, so many imaginations. Like in dream state, there is no any imaginary state. You are alone. No desire, no anger, no hate, no happiness, nothing is there. Just you are. But no awareness. In fourth one is samadhi, you are fully aware, and sarvo vikalpo vilayan, all vikalp, the imaginations, would be disappear. No imagination will remain there. Like when mirror is removed, then what happens to the reflections? Where does they go? When mirror comes again, they appears again. From where do they come? Sarvo vikalpo vilayan. Shankaracharya says, once if you established in this fourth state, all imaginations will disappear. You are with yourself. Then no I, no you, no this. I also will disappear. See, not only you disappear, this world disappear, even I also disappear. You are pure, without any imagination. Now next one. Shanto danta paramamuparata kshantyukta samadhim urvan nityam kalayati yati swasya sarvatma bhavam tena avidya timir janitan sadhu dagdva vikalpan brahma kritya nivasati sukham niskriyo nirvikalpa. I chant one more time, very beautiful verse. Shanto danta paramamuparata kshantyukta samadhim kurvan nityam kalayati yati swasya sarvatma bhavam tena avidya timir janitan Sadhu Dagdva Vikalpan Brahma Kritya Nivasati Sukham Niskriyo Nirvikalpa. See the meaning. Serene, self-controlled, withdrawn from sense objects, steadfast in forbearance, practicing one-pointed samadhi, the seeker experiences his self as the self of all, destroying by these means all imaginations born of the darkness of ignorance. The seeker lives blissfully as Brahman, free from egocentric actions and all imaginations. See one more time the translation very carefully, because in this verse there are so many contests, so many things. He says the sannyasin, calm, self-controlled, perfectly retiring from the sense world, forbearing and devoting himself to the practice of samadhi, always reflects on his own self being of the whole universe, destroying completely by his means. This means the imagination which are due to gloom of ignorance. He lives blissfully in Brahman, free from action, and which are due to gloom of ignorance. He lives blissfully in Brahman, free from action and all association of mind. The very beautiful word is samadhi. It attracts everyone. Every seeker want it. Very beautiful word is samadhi. Samadhi is the way to realization. Samadhi is the path to the Brahman. But it is not going to happen overnight. Samadhi is a term which contains the all spiritual path. Very small word, but it has all spirituality. Everything it has. The seeker has done whatever has to be done. Work is done. Now nothing is to be done. Just let things happen. Do not be obstacle in your realization. Realization is there, but we are not ready to accept it. So samadhi is the whole spiritual life. If you do not have this state, do not blame any person, do not blame any condition. You are not ready to enjoy it. Our readiness is being said in this verse. Shankaracharya says, samadhi begins, if you read Patanjali, Patanjali says, samadhi is the last stage. Samadhi is the climax of yoga. Samadhi is the result of all activities of yogic. You have done yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan. These 7 steps, These 7 steps has to be done. But samadhi is not activity. So after having done this dhyan, then just relax. Samadhi will happen automatically. It is like this. For deep sleep, what do? For sleep, you do nothing. Just relax. Just relax. The sleep is coming automatically. Sleep is not any activity, result of any activity. So Shankaracharya says, for this state, Shant, Sharin, Dant, self-control, and very beginning. When you started spiritual practice, you did some fast, chanting, pilgrimage, donation, any type, yajna, japa, meditation, whatever you have done, you are going towards samadhi. Shanta. You control your mind, control your sense organs. Slowly, slowly, they develop, and each quality will transform as a samadhi. Samadhi is not any extra. Samadhi is a result of this. As I told, like there is a mango tree. In mango tree, very first there is a small flower. There is no flower, no fruit, just small flower. Then this flower transforms into a small fruit. And fruit growing slowly, 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 and it ripens. Its color change, its taste change, and finally, when it is ready, it is the result of your tree. Samadhi is the result of all activities, whatever you have done till now. Samadhi is the result. Samadhi is not doing. In Samadhi, nothing has to be done. But before this state, seeker must practice lots of spiritual practices. Then calmness will come. Then self-control will come. Then retiring from the world will come. These qualities will develop. These qualities will make difference in your life. You are different person from the worldly person. Why? Because you are calm. You are serene. You can control yourself. You can control your anger, your desire, your life. So you are different person, but how? Because you have done lots of practice. You have understanding. So these qualities will make difference in your life. Mature understanding will take birth. And they will create soil for samadhi. The final stage of all spiritual practices is samadhi. The climax of sadhanas is samadhi. Samadhi is the fruit of all spiritual practices. So Shankaracharya says, Kshanto danta uparata kshanti yukta samadhim urvanniv kalayati yati swasya sarvatma bhava. Now next question is, how do we know we are in samadhi? And what one will experience in samadhi? Very simple question. There are so many techniques in this world people are doing to get samadhi. Shankaracharya says, no, you are cheated. You are cheating yourself. You can understand I am in samadhi or not. Your experience is proof about your state. In which state you are right now, your experience will tell you. You are waking state. Now, you can judge it. I am waking state. Your experience is proof. You are in dream state. Your experience is proof. You know through it your experience. And you was in deep sleep. You know. Because that time you don't have any experience. So your experience says which state you are. In samadhi, if you are samadhi, you can test yourself, I have got samadhi or not. You may have heard or experienced many wonderful things in samadhi. Shankaracharya says, samadhi can be known by experience. Your experience will tell you were samadhi or in not. Actually, the state is not samadhi. When we are experiencing something, you may experience there is a chakras, there is a light inside, there is a kundalini, you feel happiness. These experiences may have done by you. Shankaracharya says these are not real qualifications of the samadhi. You can make it like this. This is Savikalpa Samadhi. In Nirvikalpa Samadhi, in this state, the experiences will be, listen very carefully, experiences will be, this myself is self of all. This is the experience. I repeat again. Myself is self of all. Sarvatma bhav means self as the self of all. Always reflects on his own self, being of whole universe. So this is the absolute samadhi. When you experience myself is self of all. Kabir says it is a sahaj samadhi, spontaneous state of your being. Spontaneous. the experience which has to be experienced by every seeker. Then all imaginations born out of ignorance will disappear. And your clinginess about images will end. And you may love your previous state. You may love one's own foolishness. Now you have understood that there is no need to do anything with images. These are images which were imagined by you in the self. They have no existence. But you can play with them without being obsessed. So Shankaracharya says, Ten avidya timiri janatan ashradhu dattva vikalpa. Very carefully remove all imaginations. Brahma kritya nivasati sukham niskriyo nirvikalpa. And he explaining such person always remains in the Brahmakara. It is like this: if there is a person, multi-millionaire, and he is playing a role of a beggar. He begs in the street. He begs food. He begs water, clothes. And inside, he knows, I'm not beggar. I'm not beggar. When thought is correct, okay, by the producer, and immediately he changes, get up, and outside also now he becomes multi-millionaire. Inside he was always. Kabir says, if someone has achieved this state, sadhu sahaj samadhi bhali. Kabir addresses his disciple as a sadhu. O disciple, this samadhi, this state, the best state. And it is not conditioned. It is not like this, you sit in the puja room and sit in Padmasana, close your eyes and do some pranayam and then go to samadhi. He says, no. You are always in samadhi, doing nothing but you are samadhi. You are sleeping, you are in samadhi. You are waking state, you are in samadhi. You are deep sleep, you are samadhi. You are doing samadhi, you are even samadhi. So undercurrent, this state is always with you. This state will never leave you. And you will enjoy everything. Every situation, every condition, like a king, he can play role of a beggar. But he is not beggar. Buddha was not beggar, but he was begging. Now, next one. Samahitaye pravilapte vahyam srutradi cheta sam aham chidatmani tayeva mukta bhavapasa bandhi nanye tu parokchi katha vidhaina. I repeat again. Samahitaye pravilapte vahyam srutradi cheta sam aham chidatmani tayeva mukta bhavapasa bandhi nanye tu parokchi katha vidhaina. See the translation. They alone are free from the bondage of becoming who, having attained one-pointed samadhi, merge the objective world, the sense organs, the mind, nay, the very ego, in the self, as pure consciousness and not those who merely blather about their indirect knowledge. See again translation. Those alone are free from bondage of transmigration, who attaining samadhi have merged the objective world, the sense organs, the mind, nay his very ego, in the Atman, the knowledge absolute, and none else who but dabble in second-hand talks. Now Shankaracharya is making very clear. The liberation is not can be transferred. The liberation, the enlightenment cannot be given as a gift. If it is possible, then the great teachers, great masters, they have lots of compassion towards everyone. They have done it. They would have done it. But it is not possible. They can just indicate. Shankaracharya makes very clear here. He says, or the one who has got this state, the state of samadhi, who has got sarvatma bhav. I repeat again and again, sarvatma bhav is the samadhi. In Vivekchudamani, in this chapter, in this verse, samadhi does not mean close your eyes and do pranayam, deep breathe. No. Samadhi means sarvatma bhav. Will be free from all miseries, from transmigration of the death and birth. Before this state, there was all universe and you. When someone gets this state, there is no more world. Now see, all objects and receiver of the objects, they are sense organs. And controller of the sense organs, mind, is merged in this self. Shankaracharya says, you have to understand three things. Cheta, Srotradi, Aham. Here are three things. You have to work with them. One is Cheta, mind, inner instrument, intellect. It's the first. It controls our sense organs. Sense organs are controlled by our mind. If your mind is not working with your sense organs, then they cannot work. Like your eyes are open and someone has passed in front of you. And someone asks to you, have you seen that person has passed from here? You says, no, I don't remember. I didn't care. Why? Because your eyes were open, but these are not supported by the mind. So, first process is mind, intellect. It controls sense organs. And if there is sense organs working, then there is the world, objective world. Otherwise, there is no objective world. That is why deep sleep. In deep sleep, there is no intellect because of non-existence of intelligence. Sense organs do not work. And since organs do not work, then no objective world. So all process is happening because of intellect. Intellect is the controller. If someone don't have eyes, For that person, there is no color. If someone don't have eyes, for them, there is no red, no blue, no nothing. If someone does not have ears, for that person, there is no sound, no melody. So first thing is your intellect, cheta, then sense organs, then objective words. Samahitaye pravilapya bahyam srotradi cheta samaham chidatmani. So Shankaracharya says, the person who has established in samadhi, who merges these three into samadhi, and he liberated. And other hand, who utterly talk about the Brahman and has no any experience, that person never will be liberated. Like we have medicine in our pocket, we have not consumed. This medicine will not help. Direct experience of the Brahman is a cause for liberation. Be attentive. If someone does not have realization but has faith, there is a Brahman, he have heard, he have read somewhere, there is a God, there is a Brahman, there is a consciousness which is omnipresent, omniwhere. He has knowledge. He has faith too. But this knowledge is not enough. This knowledge, this faith is not going to help. This is okay, but it is not cause for liberation. And same, so Shankaracharya says, Parokshikatha vidhaina. Parokshikatha vidhaina means the person who knows everything, who knows Upanishad, Gita, other scriptures, and he can teach also. He is capable to teach. But for them, the Brahman, the Atman is Paroksha. Paroksha word is very important. Paroksha means, in Sanskrit, Aksha means your organs, sense organs, like eye. Eye is Aksha. When you see something, it is doubtless. When you see this the book, this knowledge is doubtless. If you don't have such knowledge, you have heard about book, this knowledge can be doubt. We talk, we discuss, we argue about those things are not very clear, not realized directly. This is like, this is the book. Here is no doubt. If someone says, come and we debate on this book, so what is the matter of debate? Book is a book. So Shankaracharya says, Parokshi Vidhayana, who only talk about Brahman, he can teach, he can read, but he don't know, who don't have direct realization, for them there is no liberation. Now next one, Upadhi Veda Sameva Vidyate Cha Upadhya Pohe Sameva Kevala Tasmad Upade Vilayaya Vidwan Baset Sadakal Samadhi Nishtaya. I repeat, समाधि उपाधि भेदा समेव विद्यते च उपाध्य पोहे समेव केवला तस्मात् उपाधि विलयाय विद्वान वसेत सदा कल्प समाधि निष्ठया. See the translation. By association with conditioning adjuncts, the many, a person is apt to think of the self as full of diversity, but by removing these, one gains one's own immutable self. Hence, until the dissolution of conditionings, let the wise person remain devoted to the practice of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. See the translation again. Following the diversity of supervening conditions, a man is apt to think of himself as also full of diversity. But with the removal of these, he is again his own self. The immutable, therefore, the wise man should ever devote himself to the practice of Nirvikalpa Samadhi for dissolution of the upadhis. Duality exists because of condition. It is not absolute. A person is just human. You think just a human being. If there we put some conditions, suppose there is a person, just a human being, just unknown. We don't know, but we put some conditions. The person becomes father. The condition because of the son. It becomes son, grandson, brother, mother, sister, and many. Just a human being. He becomes son because of condition of father. He becomes father condition of the son, sister, brother. So there is only one person. And because of condition, he becomes many. And take one more example, like a water. Water, we mix sugar, it becomes sweet water. Salt water, lemon water, red water, yellow water. So many. So water is one. Because of conditions, diversity appears. But in human being, in water, they are one. Just condition is different. Upadhi Veda Sameva Vidyate. If we know there are so many consciousness, it means there are so many conditions. If we remove the conditions, Upadhi, Apohe, then all diversities will disappear. And diversities will not make any difference in man or water. Imposing or removing conditions are not matter to the substratum. Substratum is untouched by the conditions. Similarly, your topic is about consciousness. Shankaracharya says, consciousness is the one. Everywhere, always. In everybody, same consciousness, self is dwelling. But due to condition, it appears many. Conditions are many, not soul. When we understand soul through the condition, it appears many. Diversity is in the conditions, not in the self. Upadhyapohe sameva kevala. If you can remove the upadhi, then you are pure alone. I am giving another example. We enter to see the mirror house. There are different mirrors. Some mirrors will show your nose is very long. Some mirror will say you are very tall. Another will show you are round. It is just fun for you. Nothing else. You enjoy it and laugh. You do not take it seriously. You know it is nothing happening to me. Just mirrors are showing their quality. They are not showing your quality. They are showing their quality. So, I am untouched. They are not telling about you. Whatever has say mirror produce in you, you are not worried. Same, the realized person is not worried. Tasmad upadhi vilaya vidwan, he says, the vidwan, the seeker, always try to remove the upadhi. The conditions are saying their quality. Mind is saying mind's quality. Organs are telling their quality. They are not telling your quality. They are very different. You are very different. So they're telling their quality. Tasmad upade vilaya vidwan. The sincere seeker. Be carefully. Vashet sada kalp samadhi nishtaya. Sankaracharya says, you remember always. Remember always your nature. Remember always your reality. Then all duality will disappear and you remain alone. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Sankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.